presents the #1 late night talk show in the entire metaverse. Covering everything you need to know in the night's realm. You're watching The Night Shift. And now, your host, Chigoman Porto and the Knights of Dejone.
How you doing, Knights? It's Wednesday. It's The Night Shift. Guys, we literally could sit here and talk about all the things we've got going on in the kingdom this week, right? I mean, between the Dino Monks community, getting their knights today. Have you seen some of those knights that they're sharing? Those things are beautiful. But you know what? Tonight, we lined up a couple of guests, and I'm excited because we get to start off with the guys from Metavarsity. I know those of you that have tuned into the What the Show love ripping these packs, getting to enter into their fantasy football stuff. So, of course, I've got questions. Like, one, let's talk about the project, but more importantly, how can I get the upper hand on making sure I can win one of these things? Because I'm getting spanked, all right? I don't even see my name on a leaderboard, period. Now, Agent Squirrel, all right, bro, what are you doing? How the heck are you already up there? All right, I see your name, you're killing it, and I don't even want to talk to you in Discord anymore, bro. Like, it hurt my feelings that bad. But I'm excited, guys. We've got Samson Tan, founder of Metavarsity, on the show with us tonight. And then last minute, he said, listen, I got another guy from our team. He's going to come on. Like, he needs to hang out with us as well. And he brought Julian with him. And I think it's because he just wanted to outnumber me, right? And make sure he didn't give me any spoilers. So we're going to have to work hard to make it happen. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Samson, how you doing, bro?
How you doing? Glad to be
man.
here.
Appreciate that. Let me get Julian up here. Julian.
How we doing? Glad to be
here. Good,
here.
man. Guys, I'm excited. You know, I've been ripping these packs. I'm having a lot of fun with what's going on, but I would love to kind of get behind the meaning of what you guys are doing with Metavarsity, how we came to be, and like spoilers on how you guys can control my roster and help me do better because it's been horrible. So, Samson, I mean, as the founder, like, how did you get into Web3 and like kind of lead me up to how this came to be in the first place?
Yeah, so I've been in the kind of the tech startup space for a while, just working in new technologies and such for better part of the past decade. Based in New York. So prior to getting into Web3, I was building out high-speed trading systems, big data analytics platforms, kind of just really deep in the weeds with all that kind of stuff. But besides that, Julian and I actually both know each other from high school, played high school sports together. We both had the opportunity to go on and play collegiate sports as well. And we've both just been really big sports.
Wait. Hold on. I'm not cutting you off here, but you don't just skip over we got to play collegiate sports and then not touch on that a little bit. Let's talk. Let's talk. I mean, we're at the Knights of Dejone show, right? It's all sports. What did we play? How did that? What sports were you guys doing?
So Julie and I, in high school, we actually played football and lacrosse together, and then both of us had the opportunity to play lacrosse in college as well. Julian played at a much higher level than I did. Playing at you want to touch on that, Julian? He's got some great players playing D1 ball.
I was a year older than Samson in high school. He was the big, strong defenseman, our enforcer. So yeah, I got to go play up around where, I loved it there. Rode the bench mostly, whereas Samson, I think, played a bit more at Amherst. So I think we were pretty even. But no, we were both like really grateful to get the opportunity to play at that next level. And so I think that sort of definitely formed sort of the basis for this idea of like having that athlete experience ourselves, sort of wanting to translate that into, something more Web3 native. And that's, I think, where, we both kind of came up with that, and Samson ran with it from there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I guess
where did you guys go to high school? I mean, you said New York, right? Where'd you guys go to school?
We went to Riverdale, which is in New York. Yeah, it's like a high school in the Bronx for those who are New York natives.
Okay, yeah, no, I mean, I grew up in the Bronx like most Puerto Ricans, and then I lived in Riverdale and in
Nice.
Yonkers. So, I took the Puerto Rican route of I played basketball and baseball like I was supposed to, but then I
Okay.
stopped growing. So when ninth grade hit, like no one paid, or 10th grade, no one paid attention to me anymore. So I didn't get the
Yeah.
collegiate career you guys got, but all right, thanks for rubbing it in. Moving right along. So continue, Samson.
Yeah, but just for context, Julian and I played sports in college, and then also a bunch of our other team members, played college sports as well. Whether it's like baseball, one of our guys who's been advising us was, two-time national champion at tennis. One of our guys who's been helping out with some stuff was also, played in for U.S. Rugby when he had finished school as well. So just a bunch of college sports fans, love playing sports. And then, I was also involved with just doing like youth coaching and things like that after I finished school as well. So, just always been around sports and trying to get involved with it, in my spare time.
Yeah, and I think that's huge, especially with a project that you're doing, right? To have a bunch of guys that actually are athletes and understand sports, right? I mean, let's be real. There's some projects you're like, oh, that looks cool. And then you're like, oh, this guy plays the flute for a career. It's like, wait a minute. How are you going to tell me you know what you're doing with fantasy football playing the flute? All right, cool. So keep going. My bad.
Yeah. So I mean, how this came together was, like I mentioned, I've been in the tech space for a while. I've been kind of following the blockchain technology for a while, kind of, digging deep into the weeds of like the mechanics of like, different nodes and how the blockchain algorithms work and the hashing algorithms, all those things. So I love geeking out about that because that's kind of what I was doing during my day job. And then as the technology was developing, as NFTs were developing, I started to think that, there was new opportunities to actually allow athletes to take advantage of a platform like this, right? And it really came to a head, I guess it was probably a year and a half ago when the NCAA came down with their big rule change around the NIL, right? So, Julie and I, coming from college sports and some of our other buddies, it was a conversation around like, oh, that really changes the game now, right? As a college athlete, you're basically a semi-professional athlete.
Right. Yeah.
And especially, Julian can kind of speak to playing at a D1 level, but like the time you put in to those programs, especially at a D1, if it's a big D1 program, it's basically a full-time job, right? And it just opened up new avenues for these athletes to monetize. So it became a question of how can an athlete take advantage of some new technology to benefit themselves. And the idea was really, how can we build a fantasy sports platform by athletes for athletes? Because traditionally, all of these fantasy sports platforms, whether it's ESPN, CBS, DraftKings, FanDuel, whatever it is, these are billion-dollar companies, right? But the athletes themselves have never seen a dime of that. We've talked to NFL athletes, we've talked to MLB athletes. They don't see a dime of all the action that's happening, that's being built off their backs. And kind of like following with the Web3 ethos, it's kind of a way, we thought there was a way to kind of like decentralize all that and actually give the benefits to the athletes themselves. So that's kind of like our ultimate vision.
Okay. So if Julian, if you want to jump on it or whatever, but so when you're saying the athletes are getting something as far as working with this and their likeness, how does that work for you guys?
Yeah. So before I continue, anything else you want to add on there?
No, I mean, I think that is a big issue. Like this is sort of like the Wild West right now in terms of this NIL laws, especially in terms of combine that with all the crypto laws that do or don't exist right now. It is a wild space that, as a third-year law student now, that's what I've been trying to navigate. Well, I follow Samson on his, tech brilliance. So I think between the both of us, like we're trying to identify these bigger issues while, perfecting the product, forming the community so that we really can scale it to the point where, we can work across different sports, college, pros, and really start like getting the value to these athletes rather than, the university or the corporation or anything. But I'll stop there.
I love how he drops the, third year law and, and athlete. Like, let's be real, Julian, I got to ask, are you Clark Kent? Like, I'm just curious, bro.
You caught my ear. I got a Puerto Rican mother also that pushed me pretty hard.
There you go. All right. Makes sense. So, Samson, I know you wanted to keep talking on the project. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, but I'll shine Julian up a little bit more. He's been humble. He's not just a third-year law student. He's also finished up business school as well, and Superman. So Julian's just doing it all. But yeah, so in terms of how we ultimately see this coming together, is not, one, I think we've got good interest from some athletes who want to help contribute to building the platform, but then also where we ultimately see any athlete being able to participate is that they are kind of similar to kind of creator royalties, right? The creators in this case are really athletes themselves. They are the performers. They are the entertainers that all this is based off of. So we think there's multiple ways that they can share and participate in all the value generation. And that's one through the creation, the minting of the NFTs themselves, right? So the NFTs in this case, meaning, and you as you've tried out the platform, is like being able to use that Tom Brady as your quarterback in your lineup, or being able to use Saquon Barkley, right? And all the minting fees, all the pack fees, that gets shared with the athlete. All the secondary transaction fees in the marketplace, that gets shared with the athlete, right? And then there's also other potential revenue streams that we're kind of thinking about down the line, where it's like either participating in certain sort of like prize pools and things like that. And we think it's just a closer relationship that you can build between the fan and the athletes themselves. So
yeah, I'd only add to that. Samson, like when he was first pitching me the idea, made it simple for me. We're sort of trying to recreate like the trading card market, but apply the blockchain to it and the NFT technology to it, where you can see value in the future. Whereas he gave me the Derek Jeter example. Whereas Derek Jeter, he sells the rights to his card, he gets a one-time fee, and that's it. We want to set up some sort of model where the athlete helps mint the card and he sees revenue every time it's traded in the future. So now we're creating future value for like forever whenever this digital asset as a trading card is transacted, essentially. That's how he made sense to me. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you had me at Derek Jeter. How you doing? I'm good there. So so you guys, when it first started with everything, it was focused, was it originally NBA stuff first, right? Is when you guys kind of launched the first beta?
So we did an initial test earlier this spring for March Madness. So, just because
that's what it was.
We've both been, in college sports, part of the long-term vision is being able to, not just the pro athletes to monetize, but the collegiate athletes able to monetize as well. So we did an initial test, over a relatively short amount of time for a month over March Madness, and we had to kind of create like a very clever format for that, just because, as March Madness, you have to deal with teams are dropping out left and right. Half the players, half the teams are getting eliminated every round. But I think we created a fairly clever way to work around that and make it a fun kind of fantasy experience of that month. But one of the things that we thought was exciting was imagine being able to buy an athlete, right? Start playing with an athlete in fantasy when they're in college, right? And then being able to hold on to that athlete as they progress through their career. So we often go back to like Steph Curry as an example, right? Imagine you could have bought into the Steph Curry fantasy athlete when he was still a freshman at Davidson, right? Before, when he was not a big name, you could have bought him for $1, whatever it is, right? Played with him in fantasy. He has a breakout, performance in March Madness. Value goes up, goes on to the NBA, right? You continue to use that through his pro career throughout the NBA, right? And you're able to not only compete and play with him the whole time, you're able to kind of see that value of Steph Curry rise that whole time. So like that's kind of the ultimate vision, is like you're able to really follow and be invested in an athlete through the whole career.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty solid. I mean, I would have preferred you giving me a New York Knicks reference, but we'll accept the Curry one. All right. Yeah. So with how you guys did March Madness, and now you've got the fantasy football, I'm just curious: are you seeing a bigger uptick of engagement now with the fantasy football side of it than you did with the NBA? Because I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but I remember when I opened the last pack, you guys actually had to shut down, right? People registering, and then is that back open now?
Yeah. So, Julian and I were talking about this. We actually were seeing like a much bigger jump in referrals and signups than we originally anticipated. So we had to kind of we actually had to switch to invite only at this point, just to kind of.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. That's a beautiful segue. Hey, chat, how you doing? Check it out right now. I'm going to post this link. If you have not signed up, we've got the referral code. Go fill this thing out. It's simple. Click it, set up an account. You're going to get yourself, they get a starter pack, right? For registering with the link?
Yeah. Everyone, if you register through the link, you'll get a free referral pack to kind of get your first lineup to get started.
If you guys are asking if Samson and Julian are men of the people, there's your answer. It's in the chat. Fill it out right now. Go. And you know what? In the chat, once you fill it up, just let me know in the chat that you did it. All right. We want to give you a little kudos and a high five or some cookies or something. All right. Sorry. Go ahead, Samson. Where were we? So we closed down the beta a little bit. Engagement's been crazy.
Yeah. So we actually had to, switch to invite only just to kind of, because we want to make sure it's a controlled test as we were building out. Because we want to make sure, we iron out all the kinks and make sure that the platform's working the way we expect it to. So we switched to invite only, but we were just seeing tremendous growth. And yeah, Julian, I don't know, you've seen some of the feedback from some of the users. It's been pretty positive so far.
Yeah, just like being in the Discord from when we started it, there's like, good growth through our college basketball beta, but once we got football into it, it started like really growing. And you could tell like this format, obviously football is more popular. I think it started to catch on. We started to do more work on the socials. Samson's done a lot of, great work on Twitter where it started like naturally growing the Discord. And I think, thankfully, we've gotten some traction from there. We're pleasantly surprised for sure so far.
That's awesome. So, the team, obviously I've got both of you here, but how many guys, girls, like what's the total team like that you guys are currently running with now?
Yeah, so we've got like I think 3 devs right now that have been working on it. I think they've been working day and night pretty much over the summer trying to get this launch together. But they've, I've worked with them for a while and they've been they're just really good stand-up guys. But they've been burning the midnight oil building over the past year. And then on top of that, we've got a really strong designer. I think our users really love our design aesthetic that we've been working with. And then we have some other folks who have been kind of working with us part-time, kind of assisting here and there, right? And Julian could probably touch on it, but it's really been kind of like a community and family affair. We pulling in our friends, pulling our family members to kind of like help us with things here and there. Just to try to get things going.
Yeah, that's for awesome. Sure. We've had just tried to hit our network group of friends, mentors to sort of like serve as advisors, so to speak. Whether it be like testing out the program, giving us branding, marketing advice. For me, like finding real lawyers who can help me like really address some of these questions. We've gotten like a lot of great people to support us, from the beginning. So I think thankfully we've been able to like develop sort of as that being the structure so far.
Awesome. So right now, like you said, it's closed beta, right? Invite only. What's the plan? Like, how long is this staying in beta? What's kind of next steps for the project?
Yes. So right now we want to make sure we're building a strong community, and we want to just make sure that the folks who are already on the platform are having a good experience. That we don't want to push things to people that people don't like, right? So the first and foremost, we want to make sure it's a fun experience, a good gaming experience. One of the things that we found attractive about this approach was that it was like a NFT Web3 product or platform that like had an inherent utility and had also inherent value. So we kind of want to just make sure we prove that out. And then one of the big other things that we're focusing on, which Julian's going to be really digging deep on the partnership side, is like bringing on some of those athletes, either as just participants in the different activities that are happening on the platform, or also as backing the platform as well. We've actually gotten pretty good interest from some of these pros because they understand that there's this big billion-dollar pool of value that they've never been able to tap into before. So we've been having a lot of interesting conversation around that with them.
Yeah, I think to that theme, Samson and I have spent a lot of time speaking to athletes, and even coaches also, and like athletic directors, just wanting to make sure that we have everything ironed out, and that once we grow to the level we think this can grow, we're not like maybe we've gotten ahead of some of the issues that we think are might come up or that we're seeing appear in some other like fantasy sports ideas or NFT ideas. So yeah, we're trying to obviously like get to market, but make sure we're getting like the best product we can out there before getting out of this space, so to speak.
That's you can tell that's a legal guy, right?
He's like, to clarify. It's funny because I'm going back to you saying the fact that the Steph Curry example, right, where you can follow them. Like, I love that idea, right? And then I'm like, man, if someone would have bought my card for $1, in middle school and high school, it probably would still be worth $1. So I would be like a horrible example, but the fact that you guys have this game plan for it is huge. So I've got a starter pack here. You guys cool with us ripping one up open? Let's show people what's going on. And chat, I love to do it when we're on the night shift. You got questions for the guys? Throw it in the chat. It's simple. You don't even have to show your mug. You type it and I put it on the screen and they answer it. I have no control on the question. I do have control on which ones I'll allow. All right, let's start off with a pack opening. All right. This is always the fun stuff. Now, I did decent. I hit finally on my QBs, right? I got me a Tom Brady. The first one, I know you guys saw some of the clips. I held back my emotions that both of my co-hosts that night ended up with like epic cards. And I was like,
they had
I don't even remember what. Yeah. So I didn't talk to him for like 3 days, but then I realized I had to talk to him again because the show was coming back up. But let's open this one and see what we got going. All right. So for people in the chat that are new, with the starter pack, there's 3 levels, right? The starter pack.
Yeah, we have the starter pack. And then the mega pack, and then there's a referral pack, which only is given for inviting your friends and family to join the platform. Gotcha.
So guys, again, shameless plug alert. The code's right in the chat. If you just got here, scroll up a little bit, get in there, register right now, and get yourself a pack. The guys are opening it up so we can join the party. All right. So in the starter pack, we get how many cards? 4, 8, 10. Right? Yeah, 10 cards in this one. All right, let's do a little reveal. All right, coming up, let's refresh my screen because that did not go through at all. Josiah, all right. I'm okay on the tight end position right now. All right, you know what? Let me refresh because I think that's actually my side. All right. All right, I'm going to log out of it and jump right back into it so that people can actually see the cards that we're opening up so, they can see what we're doing. So while I'm doing that and setting this up, guys, a couple questions I had about the platform now. I noticed there's not like a card trading feature yet. Is that something that's on the roadmap? Like what functionality are we going to have there?
Yeah, so right now there's a marketplace that's live. So if people want to buy and sell the cards with each other, they'd be able to do that. Eventually, we'll want to think about how we want to integrate some sort of trading mechanism in there as well. But we've just been taking us a little bit more time to figure that out. But part of that is just because the ultimate model that we are trying to figure out, like we touched on before, is having some way to compensate the athlete. In that transaction, right? So if a trade were to happen, how does that impact athlete compensation, right? So that's just something that we are trying to figure out. And also we want to make sure that there's mechanisms to ensure that there's kind of parity, you're trading like for like in terms of how people are exchanging cards, right? So there's some protection from people getting absolutely fleeced in different trade deals. So that's just some of the things that we're still trying to figure out, but ultimately that is something we would want to support in some way. But in the meantime, people would be able to buy and sell in the marketplace as a way to do that.
Yeah, I mean, after that episode where Coach Richie, my co-host, had a couple pieces I really wanted, I tried fleecing him. All right. When I found out we couldn't trade, I said, all right, bro, I put it up for sale. It's in there. He didn't bite on my $75 bid at all. Are you guys seeing a lot of people already so far with the closed beta actually purchasing? Like, is there like the biggest purchase to date so far that you guys are aware of?
Yeah, we've seen some transactions going through during the our alpha test, and I think people have been able to kind of scoop up some good deals close to the floor so far, and building out their collection. I think the biggest transaction we've had so far was actually for a collegiate basketball player that I think, I forget for who, had sold for like $85, right? And this was someone that had been purchased for $1 and then was later traded for or sold for $85 at that point. So I think pretty good
at 85, yeah, that's a good clip, especially when you get the mega pack for $100, right? I was trying to see if I can sell 2 running backs to Coach Richie since they were Lions and he's a Lions guy. It didn't work, so I must have done something wrong. I should have lowballed them a little bit. So right now, do you guys have a count of how many people we actually have that you guys have in the closed beta? What are you at right now?
Right now, we're about 1,000 users that have been kind of active, ripping packs and things like that. Once we started getting close to that level, we were like, it was kind of near the top end of where we wanted to run our test. So we switched to invite only, but we'll be opening up that hopefully soon.
Well, Agent Squirrel, we were talking about you earlier, bro. See you on their stack rank with you kicking some butt in the last 2 weeks. But he made it clear he overpaid for AJ Dillon, but he's a knight. So we'll respect that on the night shift.
Yeah.
So I'm going to apologize. I guess it's my end, guys. The internet is not opening the packs for me. So I keep getting Robert Woods has shown up twice for me, and then it's not refreshing. So I'm going to keep trying to refresh that.
No problem.
And then I want to actually pull up some of my. So can we dig into kind of what's going on right now with how you enter into the fantasy leagues and stuff? So,
sure. Yeah.
Like right now with preseason, right? Obviously, I found it tougher for me to build up like a crazy lineup, right? Not knowing who's starting, and in most cases, none of my studs are starting at all. Is there a strategy? Like, are you finding people on the marketplace going and finding guys right now during this preseason to say, okay, I know this guy is going to put up some reps as a young guy and purchasing those cards?
Yeah, so I think, preseason, like you said, I think is a little bit of a crapshoot. Julian, I don't know if you've had any luck. I've been doing pretty piss poor during these preseason.
Near the bottom. Yeah, near the bottom.
But I think I saw a comment on our Discord where someone's mentioned that the strategy that worked for them has actually been they've purposefully chosen all the players they don't know and plugged them in because they've been getting the most playing time during preseason, right? Because they're testing out all these guys and trying to figure out who they want and who they want to keep. So I think that's actually been kind of the preseason strategy. So for folks who are kind of looking for a strategy to apply for week 3 starting tomorrow, maybe that's the way to go.
Makes sense. So the way it's set up, it's going to be every week readjusting the lineups. Are there any ones that are like full season long leagues? Because I see, and tell me if I'm wrong, some of them are actually community driven, right? That they create the little league and then you just join those. And then are there the ones that you guys are creating as well?
Yeah, exactly. So some of it we'll create, whether we're allowing people to do free to play competitions, or if you want to enter for a prize pool, you can do that as well. There may be some competitions where we'll sponsor with a prize or have a specific athlete or a pack available as a prize down the line. But we wanted to kind of allow it to be either competitions driven by us or competitions that's been created and driven by the community as well. Julian, were you going to say anything?
Yeah, no, I think the vision is to make it, as customizable and free to the user as possible, so that, we hope to have some really big, games where we have, big prizes and lots of users competing against each other, but also have the option for you and your 5 buddies to just put in some money together or set a prize pool and a spending cap, and it's just you and your 5 buddies playing together. So like, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Samson, but ultimately the vision is like trying to make it social, trying to make it customizable, all with like this, pretty basic, fantasy format.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, we want to let people play fantasy the way that they want. So right now we're starting small, right? So we're doing these weekly competitions. Eventually, we'll move into allowing people to do daily long, or if they want to do season or dynasty style leagues, they can do that as well. The week was kind of a good format for us just because it was like a fairly simple way for people to compete, and then also kind of allowed us to iterate quickly and kind of make improvements along the way. And then one of the things that people can do now is they can compete for either cash or crypto-based prizes. So it could either be
Nice.
a USD pool, or it could be an ETH-based pool. So people have that option to do that now. The other thing that I will mention that's important as a game mechanic is we have introduced the concept of, and it's for people who play daily fantasy, it's probably going to be something similar, but we introduced the idea of a salary cap, right? So just as, in actual professional teams, you would have a salary cap or for the NBA and NFL, so like that, to kind of make sure there's some level of parity, we introduce that here as well. So that way we avoid a situation where it's pay to win, right? So that way, that if you're entering contests, it's everyone who has spent like a certain amount putting their roster together. So if you are a whale, you're playing against other whales. You're not, someone who's dropped $1,000 on their lineup who's
Who's going to spank everybody. Yeah.
Right. So if
I will not be in that league as of right now. All right. Until I can get Coach Richie to buy a card off of me, because I'm sitting on like 3 DeAndre Swifts. All right. And he's got like 1 running back. I'm like, dude, stop playing hard ball. Like, let's just make this happen. So, all right, Coach Richie, I'm giving in. I will literally sell it to you for $5. In return, I will buy your Joe Burrow for $5. He ain't gonna go for it. So, guys, before we wrap up, one first in the chat, I'm gonna put it in there for you guys one more time. Here's the link. Get yourself registered. Come have fun. I mean, it only makes sense that we would have to get as many Knights of Degen in this as possible, so then we can have our own little Knights of Degen pool going and keeping track of that every week on our shows. So any excuse for me to talk more football and cover Metavarsity, I'm all for it. But before I let you guys go, here's the question I have, and it goes to both of you. If you were to tell people right now why you think they should jump in on this while they can, what would you say, Samson?
I'd say, we've been really community driven. We've been actively getting feedback from our users on how to build it. So I think jump in now, be part of the community and the group that's helping us to steer the platform and how we build things out. And I think we're really excited about the prospect of actually getting the athletes involved. I think it just brings a whole new level of engagement between fans and the athletes themselves by having that more direct connection as when you're playing fantasy sports. So I think that's a vision that we love and hopefully other people love as well.
I will say sold. All right, Julian, your turn.
Yeah, no, I'd echo that. I'd say that just to add to that, I think, you will probably see bigger players get into Web3 fantasy sports. I think coming, Samson and I being athletes who never got paid $1, not that we probably made much revenue for our universities, but, being athletes ourselves, and wanting this to be by athletes for athletes, I think, you're helping us try and set a new precedent for, how athletes get paid essentially, and how their hard work is valued really. And I think, this trading card sort of marketplace that we're trying to recreate in this Web3 ecosphere is a really cool way to do it. So yeah, get in early, and, we'd love to have you as part of the community, but yeah, that's my pitch.
All right, Superman, you nailed it. All right, guys, thank you so much for taking time to be on here tonight. You guys know I'm a big supporter of what you got going on, and I am going to push to get as many nights in there so I can watch me lose to every single one of them. I can pull off the best stats and research, and I suck at making my lineups every week. I'll end it on this note. My wife joined our auction league 3 years ago. She showed up with a book, notepad, how much she was going to spend. None of my friends are ever allowing my wife back in. She spanked all of us. I ended up in last place. I swear to you, I slept on the couch for like a week by choice, not because she put me there, because I couldn't face her after that. Guys, thank you so much. And I look forward to having you guys back on, talking about this a little bit more. And we'll keep ripping packs and we'll keep getting in there. And I'll keep track of how many of these guys keep using that referral code, all right? And we'll get up to date. Awesome. Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you.
You got it. Have a great night, guys.
Bye.
All right, come on. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you got to get in there. How do you not want to do it? Like, you open the pack, you get a card, you smile a lot of times. Sometimes you have to fake it on camera like I did last week when I was pulling horrible cards and everybody else was doing great. But guys, the show keeps going. I told you, we had our boy, he is a knight. So, you know, you're able to say our boy, you know what I'm saying? We got Mr. Deshone Kizer coming on the show. We're going to talk a little bit one to none. We got this guy. I think most of the knights by now know who this guy is. You know, the guy that looks kind of like a young Leonardo DiCaprio, you know, the man Clay himself. Before I bring him on, guys, take a quick commercial break because, hello, we're literally 1 week away today from KOD University. Check it out. You know that drum roll got you going. Don't lie. I saw you, DK. Your shoulders are going a little bit in backstage. What's up, Clay? What's up, Deshone? How you guys doing?
Great, man. Great. It's always great to see you, man. That energy after a long there's no better way to spend my evening, man.
I appreciate it. Clay, man, look at you making a
what it do, baby?
The kingdom? Oh my gosh.
Man.
More than just the voice on Twitter space.
I know, man. I know. Usually it's mostly Twitter spaces these days, but I had to pop on and say what's up to DK. So it's been a minute now, but this was a special occasion out here.
Yeah, I mean, I know we've got so much that we've been, doing with the one of none stuff. And I mean, everything from NFT NYC, we can touch on stuff like that. That was dope. I mean, there's just so much we could touch on, Deshone. You know how I am, man. I can't do the whole professional interview unless you want me to. Are you ready? I'll give it a shot. So, Deshone, take me through your journey. I mean, how did we get? No, I can't do it, bro. I just can't. How are things going with the project? What's going on? Give us an update, man.
Everything's great. First off, it's crazy just watching the progression and just seeing the commercial there for the DVM University. I mean, things are just moving along so great, man. So first, happy to be on, but second, one of done's going awesome. We've been just like most people who are in this Web3 world right now, taking this as an opportunity, this crypto winter, this NFT winter is an opportunity to really start digging in and coming up with a clean and precise roadmap to go and raise funds with and things like that. But took NFT NYC. Which is a great success for us. I mean, we ended up shutting down Soho, and we were able to have that hybrid gallery. Had a bunch of people come through. Took a lot of that momentum and those art pieces, and really allowed that to, in this crypto winter, honestly, to allow us to take our time through the summer of rolling those pieces out the right way, putting our processes in place. And then from there, I was starting to really roll out each of those pieces and really planning for some big partnerships towards the end of the year. Most importantly, though, officially bringing that Papa shot that everyone was playing with at both your guys' event as well as ours to market tomorrow, and wanted to take a little opportunity to come in and share a little more information on it.
Yeah, you know what I love about this moment, Clay, is we officially have like that exclusive, right? Deshone's here. It comes out tomorrow. We get to plug it. Move over, Jimmy Fallon. How you doing?
I know, man. You had to come do it right. It's been a lot of fun, man. I'm super stoked for this to go to like the official online release and kind of really bring home, the hybrid approach here. It was great to be able to, bring it out and showcase it at NFT NYC at both of our events. But I think, the magic of it is now this experience of really getting to kind of like, this is why it is a hybrid, right? Like the digital component of it is extremely important here as well. So I'm stoked. I'm really hyped for tomorrow for it to officially go live on the site. And yeah, I mean, it goes back to shout out to these guys. I went up with DK and Pat from One of None to Buffalo. We went and checked out the Ice Games headquarters. That was a super sick experience just from, getting to see like how these are made. It was funny is like I'm seeing like Ice logos like pop up everywhere now. Like I was watching like my guy Aaron Jones's like Instagram story the other day, and like his like son was like playing on one like a Game Time Pro machine somewhere. Like I saw like the Ice logo down there in the bottom corner. I'm like, I'm seeing this shit everywhere these days. But yeah, it's mad cool, man. So I know Jigga, you have that clip. If you want to roll that, that could be kind of fun to show a little backstory.
I do want to share the clip, but I do also want to
do your thing, baby. Yeah.
I gotta mention one thing. Right? I'm gonna mention one thing because DK, when he was heading out to Buffalo with you guys, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. All right. I was a little jealous, right? Yeah. I was like, hey, Clay, can we have a meeting today? Because we were going to have a content meeting. Oh, man, I'm headed to Buffalo with DK and the guys. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. You and your first world problems today. All right. Okay, I got it off my chest. I feel better.
Hey, those wings slap, though.
That did quite the trip, man.
So
it was a whirlwind. We were there for like legit less than 24 hours too. I just like straight up like less than 24 hours. I think I arrived and it was like 10 p.m. and we got there just in time to like get like last call of wings. And then I was like I was back in my apartment working at like noon the next day.
Like, wow, it was a quick turnaround.
It was a quick turnaround, yeah.
So this is called the Game Time Pro B-Ball Arcade. Yeah. Is that what it's named?
Exactly. It's the KOD Custom Game Time Pro. So essentially, Ice has been historically, one of the largest arcade manufacturers, and I heard it time and time again because I've been close to a couple guys who are working there and close to the family who owns the business, and never really understood how big of scale this actually was. But I think Clay can attest. We went in what I thought was going to be like a quick little tour around the facility. Ended up being like, in my opinion, like what the vision I had of what this facility would be. It's like we went through like 7 of them. Like you had like the plastic, and you had the technical, and I mean they're drilling these things from ground up, and it was awesome. And then finally to come by and officially see, the Knights of Degen 1 version. There's a lot of back and forth with Clay and the guys on the right way to go about it, and thought that the best way to kind of start this partnership, with Ice and as well as with you guys was to, go and take some of the original art that Blake put together for the Knights. We went with the Round Table Knights, which, there's obviously, some in our world, in the Web3 world, obviously you're seeing people's faces on the side of there, but it's everyone in this new art. But it ended up being a great success. We turned it around quickly. Went and finished that up with them. From there, went and created a digital copy of that, an NFT to make that one-to-one relationship. And then, we're able to go and showcase it at NFT NYC. Brought it over to your guys' event on Monday, and had a bunch of guys playing on it. Brought it over to our event. Ended up taking all the attention away from the rest of the art that we have. Have a bunch of competition.
I mean, come on. You put a Papa Shot competition in front of Degens. It's like art, beautiful. And then you're just going to shoot people all day. That's awesome. Exactly. Well, I know we've got this clip. Let's check it out from the trip over at the Ice Game headquarters.
Drew Kraus from Innovative Concepts, ICE. We're one of the largest manufacturers of arcade games in the industry. We've been a 40-year company, family-owned business. Started with the bubble hockey, and here we are today. We're bringing out a custom basketball for their event, and getting excited to bring out this new product.
Yeah, so I'm Clay with Knights of Degen. So we're a sports entertainment community, Web3 based community. That's where this fits right in. We're really excited about this partnership to really kind of bridge anything that we can do that kind of is giving a competition element and bringing it into the Web3 space. We think is really impactful and really meshes well with our community and the vibe we have going. So we're very much looking forward to bringing this to the event and then having to go home with a lucky community member. So I think for us, like a big part of our focus with Knights of Degen, we're a Web3 company, but we obviously are very focused on like sports and entertainment, as I said. And so for us, it's about like finding really fun ways to engage like the wider sports audience, people who are maybe, you know, NFT like curious perhaps, and they are interested in the market, and then also continuing to drive value back to our holders. And I think a big part of that is, you know, finding these like bridges that will bring along people into the Web3 space. So if you have, you know, a customizable arcade game that you can bring into your home, you could, but you don't have to necessarily, right? Like the nice part is that you don't even have to redeem it, but the ownership attached to your digital collectible can drive the value of that significantly. So,
you know, people want games at home, and you know, we started going after building our basketball, our NBA, our ice ball, and just the business grew. We started bringing on pinball games, and we just saw that home market is at another level right now. And again, it's natural, and that's what's the best part for us, right? It makes sense for all parties, and that's when you create greatness.
Yeah, and it really turns the whole ownership component up a notch, because now it's not just like you repping like your favorite team, right? Like now you can rep something you have true ownership in with your character, your digital identity. I think that's a really fun component as well, is it takes a little bit more like, yeah, it still means something, still personable if you're rocking like, you know, your favorite team on your collectible, but if it's your own IP, if it's your own thing that you have like special ownership of, that just takes it to a whole next level.
When I built our first basketball, I went to the guys and I wanted the Buffalo Braves, an old license, you know, so the NBA, and I got them like the Buffalo Braves. And I'm like, now there's something else I want. But that's life, right? You always keep, what else can I get? What else can I brand?
No doubt.
It's just great stuff.
First,
my guy Drew.
how you doing? That thing is so sexy, man. And number two, I don't know about you guys in the chat, but that jazz music kicked in. I ran downstairs. I had to pour me a drink real quick because it just felt like it was the right mood.
Cheers, baby.
So how was it seeing that come together, guys? I mean, Deshone, like seeing it from concept to actually coming to life, that had to be wild.
Wow. You know, for us, you know, there's obviously with this model, this hybrid model of attaching, you know, NFTs and one-to-one relationships to physical limited edition pieces. We really wanted to try to push the bounds in a couple of different categories. You know, one, and with this specific one, you know, our goal is like, if we could take a peek at just the collectibles market in general. Obviously, we're spending a lot of time in the digital market and learned a lot from the NFT space and you know, excited about everything that can happen on the digital, but in the physical space, you know, one thing that I got really excited about with our hybrid NFTs is this concept of taking things like pinball machines, arcade games, taking it to another level, classic cars, or you know, things that are big and heavy that you know, otherwise become pretty difficult to collect. You need a lot of space to do so. Well, this became a really unique opportunity now to show one of the bigger advantages of this hybrid NFT model, and that's that you can collect this thing, and if you do have the space for it, great, redeem it. You know, we'll ship it to you, and you have the opportunity to play. But you know, if you don't, you still have this opportunity to partake in that collection, show it off. You know, do everything that we do in the Web3 space, bridge it in the metaverse, and so on and so forth, while the physical good sits with us in the vault. And then this particular one, to be able to have this relationship with ICE and a bigger partnership that we're ironing out with them, and then to bring in obviously the Degen community that's built for a product like this. And I think that we got to all see it at NFT NYC, became like the perfect collaboration. And once again, just super excited now to kind of get it into a holder's hands and now start to really figure out how people are going to interact with this hybrid opportunity.
That's sick. So if we can talk a little bit on the process itself. So now this comes out tomorrow. So for people that are new and, you know, trying to learn what One of None is and how it works, like what would be the process to win this thing? Or, you know, is it a bidding process? Like, how does that go?
Yeah, so this one will be released with a set retail price. So there's a set retail price of $8,500 on that one, based on fiat. And you know, what we're doing at One of None is really, you know, trying to play in what we call like that Web 2.5 space, where, you know, for you know, Web3 brands who are looking to come back into the physical world and continue to kind of grow and become more approachable, One of None becomes a really unique opportunity to, one, allow your collectors to buy with fiat or crypto, From there, if you have a crypto wallet, you can connect your wallet and we'll airdrop the token right to that wallet, transfer the token right to that wallet. If you don't, we'll spin up a custodial wallet behind your account so that we can airdrop it to that, and now you still get the same experience of owning a token without dealing with some of the things that come with the security of running your own non-custodial wallet. And then that real-time fiat conversion is now an opportunity for people to really just understand at a base level what you can do at that initial sale. With the physical good, makes it really approachable. But from there, this is a Ethereum 721. It's an ERC 721. You can go and do all the things that us as degens that we gotta understand that world would like to go do. So taking that token, take a step back in the process. You make a purchase, and that token is distributed to your wallet. And from there, you have the opportunity to either redeem, meaning you come back over to our vault. You press redeem, give us your shipping address. We'll get that over to you. That first redemption is taken care of on us. Or you can decide to vault it, leave it with us, and just hold on to the token. Show it off however you'd like. Exchange it on OpenSea, exchange it on Nifty, LooksRare, and then at any point in time, whenever that collector is looking to redeem the product, they come back over to One of None, and they go over to the My Vault section. They connect their wallet. We scan their wallet to find tokens. They'll see this token. We'll see this token in their wallet. They press redeem, and that product comes right to you. But what's a little different about our protocol, which is a little different than most, is that while the physical goods redeemed out of the vault, we have a non-transfer hook in our safe transfer protocol that essentially locks the token to your wallet.
Nice.
So that you still have that token, you still can go and show it off. You get all the same metaverse utility, but you just can't transfer it while the physical's out of the vault. If you'd like to transfer it, you can send the physical good back into us. We'll authenticate it, grade it, update now the metadata with the new wear and tear, a grade 1 out of 10, notes, photos of the good as it comes back into the vault. We take that non-transfer off of the token, and now you can go out into the secondary market and exchange it once the physical goes back in the vault.
Nice. So touching on that, this makes me laugh because my buddy just texted me and says, I'm driving, I can't watch, but I'm listening. So, but yet he managed to text me while he's driving to make sure that, if you're listening right now, what is wrong with you, bro? Like, you're still doing the wrong thing. But he said, so is there multiple, like say, can more than one person buy this and claim it, or is it just the one of one?
Everything's a one-to-one relationship with One of None. So for every physical good, there's a digital counterpart, and that's really to keep that true marriage of what we call a hybrid NFT. There's a lot of people out there who do these digital things where there may be a couple NFTs associated to one product, or there's the burn protocol where you really only have one at the same time. But with One of None hybrids, it's truly in a one-to-one relationship where there's, if you own that NFT, you also own the physical good, and you have that right to redeem at any point in time.
And there's only one Game Time Pro as well. So
exactly, one of one. This first run is a one of one on this one.
Nice. JC, you're listening. I'm not texting you back, bro, because then I'm contributing to your bad driving. There's the answer straight from Deshone. Don't text me again, bro. He's going to give me that LOL. He's going to give me the LOL in like 2 seconds. Like, what is wrong with you?
Also, when you make it home safe.
Yeah, right? And then we had Robert Lira. So, Robert, now you know the price. He said the likes of music makes him want to open up a high-end game lounge.
Hey, well, look, you got the music on lock, and you got the game on locks, and the lounge is just, that's the only part remaining now.
That's it. That's it. So, Clay, I actually had a question for you, bro. When for us as Knights of Degen and our community, like when we created the partnership with One of None, what was the driving force behind this being the one that you guys all collaborate on, that this made the most sense for Knights of Degen, the One of None partnership, the big launch at NFT NYC? What was kind of our thought process from the roundtable on that?
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing was honestly like, when DK and Pat and Adam and the One of None guys, they brought this opportunity to us, it was like a big hell yeah. So it did, like we could have been, collaborating on this with Ice Games and making like a cantaloupe or something, what I'm saying? Like we would have been down with it. But like it was the fact that it was like a Game Time Pro like basketball machine was like sick. So we loved the product. We thought it was like a great fit in that regard. We love the concept of, the hybrid NFT model, us as well. Like we're a company born into Web3, but we definitely, believe the principles of relating to and helping onboard a lot of the Web2 sports community. And we think there's like a lot of great areas we could partner on with, One of None. For example, like our merch, like we're working with One of None on that. We have some great ideas in the future for how to even bring hybrid NFTs into that. So little teaser on that front of some stuff that we're working on behind the scenes here too. So there was just so much that made sense with this. And so for us, I think, you know, for me specifically, like I thought that this was just like a really fun way to kind of put our stamp and have the opportunity to be like the first to kind of like go down this path of a hybrid NFT of this caliber and this model. And then like working with, you know, One of None was a no-brainer for us because it's such a great fit in terms of like what, you know, our ties from the sports, you know, sense and the community wise, from even just like kind of our connection from, you know, our co-founding teams, you know, obviously having like good relationships and stuff too. Like I think that's important as well for how we like find the fit here. So I think it just checked all the boxes for us. And, you know, I think, you know, just another thing to touch on with One of None to give them, you know, another shout out here and kind of bring it to life is like, honestly, one of my favorite NFTs I own is my Siegelman Stable hybrid NFT. And it's just the same thing as like they did a limited edition drop with Siegelman Stable on 20 hats. And you bought them, you could have the chance to buy them in person at their event NFT NYC. I was lucky enough to cop one, go home with one at 20. And the funny part is like, you know, these hats are popping right now on, you know, in the fashion space, especially in New York. And so if you want to just buy one that like, it's not even like a collab like the One of None ones, the one at 20, it's really hard to find. I was like looking at Grail, I was looking on StockX, like you can really have a hard time like tracking one of these down. And so the issue is like legitimately there's like not really a good secondary market for a lot of like streetwear stuff or even sneakers. I know a lot of DK's inspiration behind even launching One of None goes back to his relationship with Jordan Brand. And if you're not familiar with that, there's some really cool coverage, and check out his TikTok page, the One of None TikTok, for some cool stories on how that all came to be. But yeah, I think that is like a really special thing. And with the Siegelman Stable one, it just kind of like really brought it home for me because like I have a hard time finding where to buy one of these in general. And now there's like a whole secondary market component with the NFT. Like, you know, if I wanted to, if there was an NFT for every general Siegelman Stable drop that wasn't even the exclusive, like One of 20, One of None one, I could at least go find that owner and say like, hey, if you've never worn this before, like I'll buy it from you, even if it's not at the same, you know, lovely price that mine is of, you know, 6.9 Ethereum is the current listing price. So if you're interested, go check it out. One of 20 limited edition, by the way. So yeah, I think that shit's so cool. And so I mean, it's just like it's all of that, right? I just that you see how that plays, and there's like a lot of stuff that I think, you know, hopefully you'll see from us and like our partnership as this continues down the road that continues tapping into that. I think this was the first kind of foray into that for us with this, you know, one of one exclusive, you know, drop on the Game Time Pro. It's only going to grow from there.
Facts. So DK, I got a couple questions. All right. Yep. So number one, you know, I wouldn't be doing my job as a host of a night talk show if I just skipped over Clay's minimal little spoiler there, but not much. Any insight on what's going on there? I mean, obviously I'm hearing there's definitely going to be some more collaborations between both of us and all that. So any little trinkets you want to dangle carrots for the chat? Anything, guys? Something? Come on.
We could talk conceptually. You know, conceptually, you know, like Clay mentioned, the partnership with Knights of Deshone for us has really been an opportunity to kind of pilot a lot of the bigger ideas that we have within the fashion and collectible space, and really want to try to find ways to make that seamless within, you know, our partners, markets and shops that they have. And while this drop will be done on One of None. And you know, we'll make sure that goes right at home. Our plan at One of None now is to take these partnerships that we're building and start to bring a lot of that functionality to you know, the e-commerce platforms that already exist out there. So right now, you know, we're powering your guys' merch. You know, there'll be a couple upgrades within that merch where we can start to add in some more, you know, some Web3 things. You know, start token gating some specific items, but then ultimately, you know, the concept of a hybrid, a concept of connecting a physical to a digital, while, you know, it brings the opportunity for exchanging, and that's why we're all degens, and that's, you know, an opportunity to make money on it. It also, you know, brings brands like you know, KOD a new unique opportunity to get into rewards. You know, if you guys are thinking about, you know, your token that's to come, and you know, so, you know, the other events that are going to come out there, or some of the things that you know, might lean in to you know, the physical opportunities and physical activations that might be out there. You know, our plan is to try to make as many ways as we can to take some of these physical items, these opportunities that you guys are giving to your community to be able to go buy things, and you know, allow that to now start to power maybe some of the you know, the benefits that come with you know, the tokens.
Nice. I mean,
Oh,
I know
here's
submitted.
my little tease. So
Yeah, go
since
ahead. Go ahead.
since I've had enough wine to share this, I'll say the brainstorm sessions in our meetings between our two respective parties here have ranged anywhere between some sweet new merch items dropping soon, like our KFFL. We're having a few KFFL merch items, so shout out. Make sure you register by August 30th. Best fantasy league
Plug
out there.
it.
25K GPP. DK is gonna be there. I know he's gonna be in there. We're gonna get Pat in there, get Adam in there, get all of our 1-9 guys in there. It's gonna be a great time. 10K to first place. And ideas range all the way into stuff that could involve tokens and stuff like that. So we'll just, we're gonna leave it at that, and that's all we're gonna say. But I mean, we're just like, it's fun. I think that is the coolest part of this partnership is really like, using each other as a way to kind of like leverage our capabilities and like push stuff forward, even if it's conceptually at first, and then putting like the actual like tangible Web3 prowess behind it. But yeah, it's cool stuff coming for sure.
DK, I mean, you guys are having all these sessions. Did Clay by any chance bring up my pitch? I had offered, for a merch idea with 1-9 was a Jigga Man Portal bobblehead that when you hit the button, it says, "How you doing?" Did he bring that up yet? Or is that totally
no,
off the
that's
table?
actually amazing. That's not a limited run. We just go. That's
I think the last people that are the last thing that this community wants is to be woken up in the middle of the night.
How you doing? I wouldn't bite me, okay? So
yo, you should license that as a new alarm.
Oh man, yeah. Look, we already got one buyer, guys. I'm bringing business. Look, so pizza's in.
That's because pizza wakes up at 3 a.m. to go manage airplanes.
I guarantee you get about a 95% vault rate of everyone leaving the vault and just taking it.
All right. Well, I'll go back to the drawing board. We're good. So cool. Before we end the show, guys. So everything tomorrow. What do we have a kickoff time on when this is going live for people to be able to go? Is it
stay tuned? No, I'm just kidding.
Stay tuned. Hey, there you go. Check the thing.
Subscribe, liked.
Yeah. I think right now that we got early afternoon on the books, but like you mentioned, we're going to put out a little message tomorrow morning, let you guys know when it's going to go live. I got a couple other things that we want to make sure that we have in place in terms of the education and the content that's going to be around it. A couple of things that'll come out, but we'll make sure to keep everyone.
I finish my blog posts.
Exactly.
Keep drinking that wine, Clay.
That's a tomorrow problem.
That's gonna be the post. DK, that's the post in about an hour. Tomorrow, sometime. Love Clay. And that's it.
I got DK's TikTok. He's just gonna text it to me. We're good. We're ready to rock.
Exactly. Man. It'll be out tomorrow. We'll be in the Discord kicking it. The 1-9 team will be there as things get ready to get launched. Definitely putting a little pressure on a couple guys that we got some good relationships with who've been interested in it. See if we can get that token out, and as soon as this product goes live, and then from there, this is the first of many. As Clay mentioned, this is a partnership that from day one, and we knew it was going to be a long-term play here. That you guys have been great partners to us. As we're kind of getting up and rolling, our plan is to be just as good as partners back to you guys with all the crazy ideas that comes out of that roundtable session. And my goal is I gotta turn off my phone after.
Yeah, right. When you get a text from Drew,
as soon as I get a text that
Oh man, well, seriously, I appreciate you making time to come on here, man. Obviously I'm gonna have to work something out. We got to get you on one of the other shows. We got to talk football at some point. Like, we got to get there, but
I'll tell you straight up, Jigga, after making that early decision to leave the field and come do this business thing, which I not one regret in the world. I've learned so much in building this business, got a lot of confidence in this. I've made it a point to try to stay as far away from the football field as I can. But I'll tell you what, the first time that I'll get back at, on camera and actually start sharing some of the X's and O's, I'll do it with you, Jigga. So you just tell me whenever you want to get on, we'll start chatting.
There we go.
I love it. I'm locking it in.
Can we get one little nugget? What's the latest on Will Fuller? Is he going to sign anywhere? Is he done?
He's not done. All right. When you got the burners like that, you allow, if someone wants to pay you right now, great. If they don't want to pay you right now, with the way those guys the type of position he's going to
There's
be.
no training
Someone's
camp,
gonna
right?
hand me. Someone's gonna you know, end up with a calf injury. He walks in.
Training camp.
Exactly. He gets
Celso,
a big
clip this. We got to tweet this out right now. Let's go with all the fantasy guys. Let's go.
Man, for everybody in the chat, appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't done it yet, go check it out. oneofnone.io. Go see what the group is doing. The team is amazing. Deshone, Kai, you've got Darsh. They're all just constantly, I mean, even the Discord popping. People always helpful and explaining things. I'm really excited about the collaboration. Clay, appreciate you actually coming on camera and not using the Twitter space for this moment. Thank you. And DK, we'll definitely reconnect, man. And I appreciate you hanging out tonight. And I guess I'll end it on this. Hey, chat, you only got a couple days left. Get in there for the KFFL because the Deshone Huddle's coming up. The show's going to be bananas. How you doing? On that note, peace. We're out.
Shining and boy, we winning. We about to make a killing. I don't care what you feeling. I know you wanna steal it. Want it, then come and get it. You want it, then come and get it.